Welcome back to our YouTube channel, The Book Digest. In today's episode, we're diving into a powerful and practical summary of The Leader's Guide to Managing Risk by K. Scott Griffith. This is a crucial guide, really, for any leader who has to manage the kinds of threats you can't always see coming.
So the book kicks off with this absolutely harrowing, real-life moment. The author is standing on a runway, and he watches a commercial airliner literally fall out of the sky. This was Delta Flight 191, and it was brought down by a microburst, a violent, completely invisible downdraft of wind. Over 100 people died, all because the pilots were flying blind into a danger they simply could not see.
And this tragedy really sets up the central question of the entire book, doesn't it? How do you manage a danger you cannot see? It's a huge question. And the answer is, well, they aren't simple, but they are incredibly powerful.
Griffith's answer is a framework he calls the sequence of reliability. The core idea here is really important. There's a specific, unskippable order to managing risk. You can't just try to fix everything at once. Nope, you have to start by improving the systems people work in before you can even begin to fairly evaluate the people themselves.
And the book is so emphatic on this point. Following the sequence, it's not just a good idea, it's a scientific necessity. Organizations that try to skip steps or do things out of order, they just consistently get worse results. It's that simple. So, let's break down how this sequence actually works.
All right, let's dive into Section 1. The first crucial step is all about recognizing the difference between just seeing a risk and truly understanding it. And believe me, they are not the same thing at all.
The book illustrates this perfectly with two examples. On one hand, you have seeing without understanding. Think about the early COVID response. We all saw a new virus, but we totally misunderstood how it spread through the air. On the other hand, you have understanding without seeing. This is like drunk driving. We all understand the danger, but we can't actually see the risk on the road until an accident happens. Both are just massive failures of perception.
And this leads to one of the most dangerous traps for any leader: outcome-based thinking. Just because nothing went wrong today doesn't mean you have a good system. It might just mean you got lucky. The book argues for a huge mental shift, moving from asking, did we have a bad outcome, to asking, how robust is our system really? It's a game changer.
So how do the most reliable organizations learn? Well, they study their near misses just as seriously as their actual accidents. Those close calls, those are priceless warning signs that your system is right on the edge of its breaking point. It proves that so-called black swan events are rarely a complete surprise. The clues were there all along.
Okay, on to Section 2. This next step in the sequence directly tackles one of the most common mistakes in leadership, focusing on the people instead of the process.
The book's golden rule is crystal clear. Fix the system before you evaluate the human. Why? Because even your absolute best people will eventually fail if they're stuck working inside a broken system. You simply cannot outperform a defective process forever.
And we have all seen this play out on a massive scale. Remember the disastrous launch of healthcare.gov? That wasn't because of incompetent operators. The system itself couldn't handle the load. Same thing with the Southwest Airlines meltdown in 2022. It was caused by ancient software, not a lack of employee effort. Blaming people for system failures is a classic and very costly mistake.
So, if we fix the system first, how do we handle human performance and error? This is where the book introduces a really sophisticated and fair approach to accountability.
It's called a just culture. And let's be clear, this is not a blame-free culture where anything goes, nor is it a culture of just harsh punishment. It's much smarter. It's a culture where accountability is carefully calibrated to the specific behavior that occurred.
This framework makes it very, very clear. For a simple human error, an honest mistake, you console the person and then you fix the system that set them up to fail. For at-risk behavior, say taking a shortcut, you coach them to understand that choice. But for reckless behavior, a conscious disregard for safety, that's when you punish. 3 different behaviors, 3 different and appropriate responses.
Now, for a just culture to even have a chance of working, you need one absolutely critical ingredient: psychological safety. Your frontline employees, they see risks that leaders just can't. They are your most valuable sensors. But they will only speak up and report those near misses if they feel it's safe to do so.
And all of this culminates in the fourth and final step, an integrated framework that brings all these pieces,
seeing risk, fixing systems, and building a just culture together into one cohesive strategy. This is called collaborative high reliability. And that word collaborative is key. True reliability can't be dictated from the top down. It has to be built with the genuine participation of everyone, from the executive suite right down to the front line.
So let's recap the entire path. It starts with Step 1, see and truly understand your risk. Then, Step 2, fix your systems before focusing on people. That enables Step 3, build a just culture where error is managed fairly. Step 4 is to collaborate with all stakeholders. And finally, Step 5, validate your progress with an outside perspective to ensure true accountability.
You know, in the end, this book isn't offering a magic wand to eliminate all risk. What it offers is something far more valuable. A proven method to build an organization that can see what's coming and is resilient enough to survive it.
And that leaves us with a final thought-provoking question for you. Based on this framework, what are the warning signs, the near misses that are hiding in plain sight in your own organization right now? Thanks for joining us for this summary.